Good evening, everybody. How are we? Welcome to Monday night. It's me, the Mental Health Runner, on with the guys. Let's talk mental health podcast. Basically, talking anything and everything mental health or what you've been up to for today. Just purely positivity. And if you're struggling, obviously pop a note in the messages. Tell me what you've been up to. But most of all, it's just to touch base with each other, see what each other's been up to, and go from there. So, what have you all been up to today? Myself, what have I been doing? Today, I've been out for a run. Today, I only did 3.2 miles. It was quite an interesting run today for me. Because I went out and met one of my mates when I was out, popped in and saw him. And the great thing about it was, I ended up pushing myself more than I probably have for a little while, and it was hard, but it felt quite good in a strange way. And I think that's the thing that we don't tend to look at a lot of the time. We tend to look at it and go, "Well, hang on, I've just gone out for a run." But I actually realised I did work quite hard, today, which was good. Pamela, working, laugh out loud. What? You're working? You've been working. Are you not working now? You better not be working now. It's too late to be working. You've got to be relaxing. I know it's not that relaxing listening to me, but hopefully it works. But yeah, going back to me today, the run. It's really quite good. Because I come from competitive nature. I am very ultra competitive. Because of my professional golf career, everything I want to do, I want to win. Rallying, the only person I've ever tried to beat is me. And that's part of the mental battle as well. And today that was really quite interesting because I went out with the intention of just going for a run and then found myself pushing myself a little bit harder than I probably would do normally, which is unbelievably good. You know what I mean? I actually realised I could still do. I'm nowhere near as quick, but that doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. But the positive was I actually did push myself. And I did feel good. I was surprised myself. But while everyone's on, if you can, click share on your page and share to groups. Because the more groups you share it to, the more it gets out there, promotes this page and my page, and just helps other people. That's the most important bit. And also, asking me questions. You can ask me anything. Pamela, worked through the day, laugh out loud, loaded with cold. You got a cold? Oh my God. Don't you sneeze over here, because you know what all of these germs are at the moment. You better have your mask on while you're watching me tonight. I don't want you sneezing over me. Do you like my mug? Look, got my little Tweety Pie mug. Look, cup of coffee while I'm talking to you guys. Anyway, all right, tonight I was going to ask you guys a question. Now, this is going to sound it's not meant to be rude, but you probably think of it as rude. I want to know what gets you excited. And when I say what gets you excited, I'm talking down the routes of Christmas, holidays, birthdays, going to the park, things like that. Things that excite you in your mind and make you feel good. And then I want you to go to the negative, all right? And then I want you to look at the negative. And I want you to write down for me the things that make you feel good and then the things that make you feel bad. And I want you to look at them both, all right? There's reason for doing that. I talk a lot about, which you might have heard about before, journaling. And journaling is a very good way of dealing with how you think. Because when you go back and look at it, you can look at it and go, well, hang on, actually wasn't as bad as I thought it was. And the reason I say about what excites you, we all have things that gets our blood pumping and makes us feel good. And a prime example for me today was the run. Now, if I'd have said to myself, go out for a run and feel good, I would not have felt good. To be honest, I didn't really have that in my mindset today. I came back feeling good. It's weird, really weird. Oh, here we go. I knew I'd start yawning, you guys. Don't take long. But it was good. I did feel good when I came back. And that's the real key positive. And I think that's something that we don't tend to look at. Pamela, kind of dreading it as not got my dad. However, I'm going up the loft to get the tree, etc. tomorrow, as my dad would want me pushing forward. He was such a positive man. Yeah, he would want you to do that and he'd want you to thoroughly enjoy it, Pamela. And going up to get the Christmas decorations is going to bring back those memories, of course it is. Um, I understand that from the point of view of my mother-in-law, my wife's mum. She passed away on the 21st of December. It's 5 years this year. And Christmas does bring back all those memories for my wife and for me and the kids. And it is difficult. But he wouldn't want you to dwell on it and he wouldn't want you to think like that. You have to think of the things at Christmas with him, which were amazing, and the good things, and not be afraid of those because, you know, he wouldn't want you to live not pushing through this. He'd want you to smile and enjoy him and think about him. So that's what I would say to you from my personal point of view. And talking about it like we're doing there, that's the real good thing. Do you know what I mean? That's the fantastic part about it. And like I say, anybody who's on here at the moment, you know, tell us your stories as well, you know, like with those things. But like I say, what does, you know, like what makes you feel good? Because there's lots of things in the world about ourselves, our negatives, what we see as negative isn't always as negative as we make it out. We tend to draw to the negative because it's easy. So I can easily look at my day today and go, with my run, oh, I only did. Oh, excuse me. Sorry about that. I only did 3.2 miles. That's looking at the negative. The positive is, got my trainers on, went out the door, it was raining, and I ran 3.2 miles. That's the thing. Hey, Michelle, how you doing, darling? Hey, your horses. I know your horses get you excited. Yes, I know they do. And they are your go-to place. And that's good. Do you know what I mean? Having that is a real positive. It really is. Having that bit with the horses and stuff like that, that's a feel-good thing. And use it. It helps you. So, amazing connection with them. Yeah, I totally get that. Animals have an amazing way of connecting with us. And they're non-judgmental, and it's lovely. It's that bit where you can have a bond with something that doesn't judge you, doesn't look at you any different, whether you're upset, on top of the world, or whatever. And I think that's the real good thing about animals. Animals give us that unconditional love. That's the word I'm looking for. They really do, and I think that's something that we don't actually get all the time from people. Pamela, same with my cat. Yeah, I get that. You know, I get that with my dog. I've got a cat as well. My cat's brilliant as well. Skits. Got a cat called Skittles and a dog called Finn. And they're both lovely in different ways. And my dog just, oh, he's mental. I've only had him. Oh, God, how long have I had him now? Coming up for probably a month, nearly 2 months probably, coming up for. But the excitement that boy gives me is brilliant. You know, it's like my kids are there, and it's different. You know, their love is a different love. I'm their dad. The dog is just a weird one because he just don't know. He wags his tail, he gets bloody excited, or he cries when I go out the door. It's that thing, and it's a good bond. But you know, we all need those bits and pieces. So sometimes having a cuddle. Evening, Dave, fella, how you doing, mate? Nice to see you. Hope you're well. Yeah, and I think, you know, going back into the animal thing is a real good thing. You know, the way I tend to look at animals is how we should look at ourselves more often. Is don't look at yourself too deeply and don't judge yourself. Because we all look at ourselves really negatively at times when we struggle with mental health. We tend to look at ourselves and go, I failed at this. Oh, I didn't do very well at that. No, you didn't. That's not what you did. You didn't fail. You tried. Trying isn't failing. Oh, excuse me. You know, failing is achieving. And I know that sounds really stupid, and I struggle with this a lot, but I do get it. If you did something every time and you did it perfect every single time and it went according to plan, life would be bloody boring. It really, really would. And the highs and lows we have in our days and our lives and weeks, years, whatever you want to say, they can be really dramatic. But when we get something that works and goes right, what it does to us is amazing. And I think that's things that we don't tend to grasp hold of. We tend to look at it. Like today, I was talking to James before we came on. We had a quick chat with James, and I was just saying to him, like, I've been trying to work out on my t-shirt design stuff for my page and for my logo and all that bits and pieces. And being honest, it's pissed me off today because I've been moving shit around on it, and sometimes I'm happy with it, but then I'm not, and I'm thinking I've got to get it right. I want it to be right, but it's really difficult because I worry about it being right or wrong, which is stupid. But it's not stupid. It's an anxiety. It's a personal thing. It's also that I want it to be right, but I'm also not great with computers. So all of them things, they all go hand in hand. So my ways of thinking is, oh, I'm struggling with this and I'm not doing very well. I'm not struggling. I'm trying. I'm giving it a go. Do I know what I'm doing with it? A little bit, but not great. I'm not really very good. So when I can't save something and then move it over because I can't bloody find it on the computer, that's me getting angry. But that's just normal. That's how things go. I'm okay. Been on a low for about a week now. Seems every time I have a low, it takes longer to come out of it. Dave, lows are very hard to come out of when you struggle with mental health and you understand it. But the positive is you know you're low. All right. So you are acknowledging that you're low. You know what's good for you. Yeah. And that's fine. And talking about it and putting what you put there is a great way because you're actually saying to us that, yeah, I felt low, but it takes me longer to come out of it. You know, different people, a lot of people when they suffer, they don't actually know they're that low. They know they're low, but they actually don't realize that it's affecting them mentally. You know, what you put there, that's good. And yeah, it does take longer to come out of it. But what you have to try and think is it's like when you take a walk. So if you take 2 steps forward, and people always say, I take 2 steps forward and fall back. But you have taken them steps forward. So you've moved forward. Yes, you may have slipped back, but that journey is still continuing. So the road is still the same. Yeah, you may have diverted on a little bit and maybe gone and done a U-turn and come back, but you're still plodding forward. And them lows, when you start to acknowledge them and think about them, there's more positives in those than you think there is. And again, I was talking to James about this before, that how we tend to look at the negatives, which then drives us into that low mood. And again, I do this. You know, me sitting here talking to you and telling you, oh, don't worry about it. I get it because I understand how shit it can be and how difficult it can be that, you know, you feel like you're doing really good and then all of a sudden, bang, you feel like you've slipped back again. And that's really shit because it does affect you that way. And people don't tend to understand, I don't think, a lot of the time, because people tend to look at it and go, well, why is he worrying about that? It's not necessarily why is he worrying about that. It's affecting him. So let's try to help him with that. Instead of going, why is he worrying about it? It's not about the why. It's about the, you know, the helping. You know, and that's good. But, you know, Dave, you know I'm always here, bud. So you can always chat. And James on this channel is really good with Brooke. So, like I say, use the group because the group is really good for chatting to each other. You know, by all means, send messages to each other. It can really help. Michelle, aiming for perfection. Nothing wrong with that. Although nothing is perfect. You are damn right. Nothing is perfect. That's the problem. You know, the classic I've always found with people is, and me especially, you search for perfection, but perfection isn't actually there. What is perfection? If there was perfection, it'd be boring again. It's the same scenario. You know, you have to look at it and go, look, you know, it's okay. It's totally okay to not have perfection. Because if we didn't have if we had perfection with everything, it'd be like I say, it'd be boring. You know, I wouldn't be me. You know, if I was, I know I think I'm perfect at times. I wish, but it's all of those things. So it's that thing. You know, that's the thing that's good. Pamela, I've been low too, but I think it's due to staying in all weekends, dwelling on things instead of going out for a walk. Just a tough year, I guess, but I'm glad I can go out and do my job. I need that balance. Pamela, being in, you know, and I know, isn't the best thing. But getting out is the hardest thing. So, them times where you're sat there and you know you're really, really struggling, it's all about just trying to think to yourself that moment when you're thinking, shall I go out? Shall I go out? Shall I go out? Shall I go out? Don't plan anything, just do it. You know, because sometimes when you're walking around, my classic one is when I was struggling quite badly recently, I actually would walk around the house with my trainers on ready. And when I felt I could go out that door and do it, I did it. And that's what it's about. It's not about putting pressure on yourself to just plan it and have to do it. Sometimes you need that little bit of nurturing, and also sometimes you need that helping hand. You need that hand to actually take you with you. So use a friend to go out with you and all that sort of stuff. But just try and grasp the moment sometimes. That's the only way I would try to put. Yes, thanks, mate. Absolutely fine, Dave. You know that, mate. Just keep talking, buddy. That's what I'd definitely say. James Downey and Brooke Longmore live podcast every day is fab to pull me through it. Yeah, it is great what them guys are doing, and it is brilliant. So keep following them, keep watching it. That's the big trick. Michelle, only Mary Poppins is perfect. Well, I don't know. I'm quite close, but I can't fly yet, so I'm working on it. I'm dying to go. I don't know what's stopping me. I just wander room to room. That's fine. What you're saying there, you're dying to go and you're wandering from room to room. I've been there, I've done that, and I get that. But it is that bit of getting out that door. That's the hardest bit. It really is. And like I say, I'm using other people to help me. So I'm actually going out with people for a run or a walk or going to do different classes or whatever it may be. It's obviously with this active challenge I'm doing. And that's really benefiting me because I've got people relying on me. And if you do the same, so if you say to somebody who you know locally, lives near you, doesn't have to be a friend, it can be somebody who you know through something else. Because sometimes somebody new is somebody really good. I reach out to somebody and just say to them, look, why don't you fancy going for a walk? Doesn't have to be anything major. I managed to go to work, so I don't know the issue. That's not the issue, though. The work is structure. Work is structure. Yeah, you do that because it's part of your structured life. The other bit isn't part of your structured life, and it's not something you need to do, but you need to structure it into your life, and that's where the hard bit comes. And sometimes because we don't have to, we don't. And there's no thing about having or should. Don't. But you know what you need to do, and using other people, there's nothing wrong with that. That's a really good way. And like Michelle put there, baby steps. That's a really good way of putting it. Because it's not about doing massive things. You don't have to go out and walk in 20 miles. Go out and walk bloody 200 yards up the road and then back again. It doesn't matter. It's making those little changes that can change the whole thing. Because when we get in those realms, it's my goal for 2021. Do me a favour, start it now. Yeah? Putting something off till then, you don't need to. Start it now. Yeah? You don't have to set that goal. If you set goals, what you're setting yourself up to a lot of the time again is, like I always say, is that failure thing. You haven't failed, but don't set yourself up to fall. Yeah? Do what you can do. Yeah? You can so do it. And I'm with you. I'm totally with you. And I know James and Brooke would be with you, and all these people on here are with you. So, just do little things. They don't have to be big. They don't. They really don't. You can, like me. Okay, Sean, I'll do it and do a live video. That's it. Do that. Because that's giving you acknowledgement to us. We don't, this is going to sound really wrong, but no, we don't care because that's the wrong word. But I want you to do it, yeah? But I don't want to force you to do it. I want you to do it for you. And then I want to use your video to tell me how good you feel for doing it. because the self thing for you is the important bit. Yeah, because I really want to see your video and you feeling that feeling of I've achieved something. Yeah, because so when I do my videos, like sometimes when I've done something, the difference in my facial expressions and my body language and all those things are all different. And I look different, I feel different. And, I think they're things that until you actually start doing these things, you don't recognize. I'll do that. I do it. That will be my positive. Good, good. That's what I like to see. And I know you can do it. I'm 110% behind you, yeah, because I know you can do it. And talking to us about it, that's the great support. And like I say, this is what it's about. It's not about having to prove anything, yeah. It's about doing and actually helping one another as a group, yeah. Because when we do stuff together, we are stronger. We also, with you doing what you're going to say you're going to do there, you will help somebody else along the line. Yeah, it's a knock-on effect, and that's something that again a lot of people don't actually realise. It's that knock-on effect of helping another human being. Like with what I'm doing at the moment, like with my active challenge. Like I keep saying to people go, "Oh, what are you doing tomorrow? What are you doing tomorrow?" If I haven't got anything planned, as in from the point of view of going out with somebody or going to do a class or whatever. I'm going to do a yoga class this week, and I think I'm doing some sort of exercise thing with somebody as well. I don't actually know what it is, but I'm looking at it and I'm just looking and thinking, well, if I fancy a walk, if I fancy a cycle, if I fancy a run, if I fancy doing a workout. But I've set myself up from the point of view of not failing, but wanting to do something. And it's that change of mindset, that's the change of how things go, and that's really, really good. It's like when I was talking earlier, it's like, for next time, I want you to try, all of you, if you can, because I talked about this earlier, but get a pen and paper, and I want you to write 10 positive things about you. So 10 good things about you. And I want them single word things, yeah? Then I want you to put 10 negatives, all right? Now, guarantee you will write the 10 negatives down a lot quicker than you do the positives. And the reason for that is because our brains are switched to negative, all right? But trust me, you're a lot more positive than you think you are, as in you're a lot better than you think you are. Because the trouble is, we tend to our own worst critics, as I've always said. When I talk about the thing about looking in the mirror, it's a classic because what I see and what you see are two different things. What I say to myself and what other people think of me are two different things. Okay, I'll do that. Negatives and positives. Yeah, do it. It's a good. Honestly, it does work. It's not a very easy thing to do, but it's a good thing to do. And also, just try and think about when you're doing it, how do you see yourself? Because that's the other thing that's important. Because when you see yourself, you see yourself a lot different to what other people do. And if you look at yourself and the things that you say to yourself in your mind, would you say them to another human being? So like you say, like with me in my mind, sometimes I say, why am I bothering? Why am I doing this? I know the reason I'm doing it, because I want to help other people. But why do I feel like sometimes, and excuse the language, but why do I feel like I'm pissing in the wind? Because that's how it feels. But when I come back to reality in my mind, I know why I'm doing it, because I like helping people. I like the feeling of doing this. I like doing the chatting, and I get a lot out of it. But it's the negative side that comes into your brain, and you look at it and you go, well, hang on, what? Why am I thinking like this? And it's amazing when you actually start writing stuff down and actually look at it and go, why are you without being horrible, why are you being a dick? Because the only person who thinks like that about themselves is us. I don't look at anybody on here and on any of my other channels I do stuff on and chats, don't ever look at anyone and judge them. So why do I judge me? Do you know what I mean? Why? Why do we judge ourselves so badly when we should really look at ourselves as we look at others? But that's the real trick with mental health. Mental health is so much about your mind lying to you. Yeah. And that is the true fact. It does lie to you. And it tells you lies constantly from that point of view. But just try that bit of positives and negatives and looking at yourself. Because if you do look at yourself in that way, you'll be really surprised on how badly you do judge yourself. And I think that does come from a mental health point of view, it really does. Sometimes I do that to better myself, I guess. Yeah, you do. You do look at yourself in that way, but when you're actually in a really bad frame of mind, you actually put yourself down when you shouldn't. Because, like I said to people before, failing isn't failing. Failing is trying. If you didn't try, you wouldn't fail. So that's fine. But how we see who we are and what we are sometimes can be really shit, because we tend to look at ourselves so bad when you look at somebody else, we all go, yeah, I want to put my arm around you and I want to help you and all that sort of stuff. But we're not particularly very good at doing that reciprocal. Yet put myself down constantly. You see, and that's the problem. And that's what I want to try and turn around. I want people to realise that, what your mind is telling you isn't true. You are a success. You are doing great things. You're just finding them things a little bit harder than normal. That's okay. But how would you, if somebody else was in your shoes in front of you, how would you help them? That's the way I would try and put it. I like what you put there, Michelle, is great, because that is what it should be about, is to better yourself, because that is the role of it at the end of the day. Because, when you start getting really bad at putting yourself down, you go the wrong way. But like I say, you don't fail, you tried. You keep trying and you keep trying. Eventually, we get those results. We know we do, because it does happen. But the road is long. And like I say, you take those detours sometimes. Sometimes you go backwards. But we keep plodding. We keep plodding forward. And that's where the wellness stuff comes into it. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes to clear your head, on Sunday when I done my live, I did a live and I was doing my walk on Sunday morning. And it was lovely. And it was lovely to interact with people and just let people see what I was seeing, because that was so mindful where I was. That's the real thing. Everyone tells me I'm always smiling, but inside I'm broken. I hide it well. Yeah, don't hide it. That's the best way. Don't hide it. Be you. You're allowed to be you. Being broken inside is not helping you. So, what you're doing here and you're telling us, that's good. Tell us. And tell the other people. I'll get through it. I know I will. Yeah, that's good. And that's the thing, because, broken is, I think, sometimes the wrong word, because, you can fix something that's broken, but sometimes we just need a little bit of a helping hand. That's all we need. We just need a little bit of encouragement. We just need a little bit of, sometimes a little bit of luck to go our way, something to make us feel a little bit better. And sometimes helping ourselves. And helping ourselves can sometimes come in those where we go out for those walks, or we do something a little bit different that we wouldn't normally do. I've found doing this challenge has been really an eye-opener for my mental health, because I've done lots of things I wouldn't normally do. And some of the things I've done, I would definitely go back and do again. One of them in particular, I really enjoyed kayaking. And again, that was so mindful, because it was just going down the river and coming back. But I was out for like 2 hours, stopped to have a picnic, and the weather wasn't particularly brilliant because it was like autumn time. But all the wildlife I saw, spending it with some people who I've known for a lot of years, but I haven't seen for a lot of years, and just the fun element of it. And I found myself smiling all the way down the river, worrying if I was going to fall in when I was getting in and out of the kayak. but it's fun and it's good. And we all should be able to have fun. Do you know what I mean? That's the most important bit. But I just love the bit now, I think, with like everyone on these pages and the groups I do, everyone tries to help one another. And I think that's the great thing. And I think we need to, like I say, from my point of view, help each other that much more and then allow each other to be themselves, because it is okay to say you have a shit day, but let's make tomorrow a good day. You know, there's always good parts of the day. So, we just got to recognise that and move forward. All right. But I'm going to tie things up here now, right? Because I've been on here for a little while now talking as I do. But join James and Brooke tomorrow doing their daily podcast, and I'm going to do a live on my channel tomorrow night. And I'm gonna mess it up a little bit tomorrow. I think I'm going to put some new bits in it tomorrow. So if you're around, join me. I'll be on sometime between 8 and 9 sometime. So everybody, keep talking, look after each other. Like I say, check out James and Brooke tomorrow on their daily podcast. And really, just let's keep doing it. Let's keep talking. Let's keep moving forward. And we will lift that stigma around mental health. All right. So stay safe, everyone. Good night. See you soon. Bye bye.